My name is Jordan, and this is the first time I took an edible and died in public. Okay, so I feel like everyone has a first time on an edible story, but then also I feel like mine is extremely tragic. So we're gonna get into it. Let me set the scene per usual. College, I wanna say like summer 16. You know how summer 16 was.
Drake was on fire.
Drake was on fire. I mean, and I lived in Florida, so Drake just dropped the Caribbean album of the summer. I'm living in Florida, and I'm not even 21 yet, so we're forced to kind of university hop to turn up, you know, all the frat parties, football parties. We was all into that shit. So that weekend we go to Florida State, turn up all weekend. We in Tallahassee, real bad. Came back with the Tallahassee flu too. So we came back, mind you, this is like fresh off of like a binge drinking weekend. And we thought it would be a good idea to kind of mellow out our weekend by going to the dine-in movie theater. You know, real cool, catch a movie, eat some food, delivered to your fucking seat, amazing. So, even cuter, it was Father's Day weekend, and this is when Finding Dory just dropped. Like, this is the opening weekend.
Okay, I was about to say, what's cute about Father's Day?
It's real cute. Okay, so like...
Hey, shout out to the fathers.
Yeah, shout out, man.
Shout out to the daddies. Anyways, so, yeah, so we thought it was a bright idea to take an edible. Mind you, none of us have real experience with edibles. Like, I haven't really smoked at all at this point. Like my friends I'm with now kind of introduced me to it, so all I've ever touched was a backwood, really. I heard about edibles, thought it was cool to try. We're gonna be faded beyond belief watching Finding Dory. That's amazing. Of course I'm in. So we have this little Rice Krispie, right? We don't know what milligrams is one serving. So I think it was like 250 in the whole Rice Krispie, and we're just breaking pieces apart. We don't know what the fuck we're taking. We're like, this will look good enough. Like, we're gonna see what happens. So my first time, I'm thinking like, I don't feel shit. I'm gonna take some more.
Hold your horses.
Not a lot more, just a little bit more. But out of that 250, it really hit. So we make it to the movie theater now, and the line is busting. It's Father's Day weekend. You got all the kids, all the parents lined out the door. We're fucked. So the edibles start kicking in. I'm like, oh shit, like I'm really high. I've never felt this way before, but now I gotta stand in this long ass line and keep my shit together. So while I'm standing in line, my knees start to feel a little weak. I was like, ooh, that's weird. Okay, so I walk away. Since the line is so long, I walk off to the side where there's tables and chairs. I'm like, I'm gonna just fucking wait this line out, hop back in line with my friends when it's closer. And this just seems like the safest idea. So I'm losing my shit in a corner. They come and get me because they're at the front of the line. I'm like, fuck, all right. Walking over there, it felt like it took 10 minutes. It probably took 10 seconds. But we get to the front of the line, and there's like something going on with our tickets. Now there's this back and forth, and I'm still up. I just want to sit down, and I'm standing. So I turn and look at my friend, trying to figure out what's wrong, and she looks at me, and she thinks I'm mad. Like I'm huffing and puffing. I'm not huffing and puffing. I'm trying to breathe. Breathe. I'm trying to breathe. She's like, yo, like, relax. Like, you know, we're going to figure out the tickets. We're going to get to the movie on time. Like, chill out. And in that moment, I wake up on the floor. I don't know what the fuck happened between that time. I wake up on the floor. It's kids crying. It's moms gasping. My friends over top of me like, yo, are you good? And I'm just like, I can see them, but I can't even talk.
How you gonna ask someone who just passed out if they good? Obviously not.
Yo.
Someone call 911.
Wait for it. So I'm like in and out of it. They're like, yo, like wake up. Like you finna get us in trouble. Mind you, we're underage and we're high as fuck. So we're just like, we're stressed. We're college students. Like a lot of us are in like really like prestigious majors. So like we really can't get in trouble. So we're like, they're freaking out. They're trying to get me up. They get me on my feet. I can barely stand. And then the security guard comes over and he's like, yo, what's going on? I'm just like, everyone's like, nah, she's just not feeling well. And he was like, is she on anything? And we're all just like, no. Like, you know, she's just not feeling well. We're gonna go outside for some air. And this nigga had the fucking nerve to announce to the entire fucking movie theater in the lobby, talking about some, is it Spice? I think she's on Spice. The amount of disrespect it was for you to assume that I am so broke that I turn to fucking Spice, that I don't care about my life enough that I turn to fucking K2. Never in my life. So now I'm just irritated because now you playing with me and I'm dying. So I'm like, this is not the way I want to go out. I want to go out with some dignity and y'all playing. So he's like following us outside, and before I could even hit the door, I drop again.
Oh my God.
So now everyone's freaking out. The security guard's like, no, we gotta call the ambulance. And everyone's like, no, we cannot call the ambulance. Like, we were so worried about getting in trouble, we was really about to let me die. And I was okay with it. So he's like, we gotta call the ambulance. And so somehow they talked him down, and he was like, all right, if she drops one more time, like, I have to call the ambulance. Like, I have to do it. Like, she's not okay. And they're like, okay, deal. I touched the door, I dropped. Like, I can't catch a fucking break. This is the third time I passed out. Like, not even like, oh, I just like lost my balance. No, I mean like lost consciousness and had to re-wake up. I'm like, bro, this might be my last day on earth, and I'm dying on Father's Day weekend, and I never got to see Finding Dory. Like,
the priorities in this.
How long have we been waiting for this fucking movie to come out, and this is the day that I die, and I don't even get to fucking see it. So I get outside, I'm still feeling kind of like shaky, and so he's like, sit down. And so like the entrance to the movie theater is kind of like the main entrance to the mall, like the nice entrance and everything. So like there's just a fucking crowd. Mind you, all the kids and the parents everywhere. It's just a fucking mess. Me, I didn't give a fuck. I thought I was dying. I laid on the ground, just hand on the side of my head, just legs chilling, like I'm on the fucking couch. I was like, I need to relax. Like, if we're gonna do this, if we're gonna make a spectacle, let's make it good. So I'm chilling. He's on the phone with the paramedics, and then I try to stand up. He's like, no, you have to stay on the ground until they get here. I'm like, oh fuck. Now I'm like, nah, I'm good. Cause at this point, like, I am starting to feel better. I'm like, okay, like I can breathe on my own again. I don't feel dizzy. I'm just like fucking tired. I'm still high as shit, but I'm just tired. I wanna go home. He's like, nah, you gotta stay there. So now I'm just laying there for a good like 10, 15 minutes. We hear the sirens. The paramedics pull up with they pull up with a fat ass, bright ass yellow gurney. I was like, and mind you, this is the mall closest to the school, so it's niggas that I go to school with walking in and out the fucking movie theater, and I'm just on the ground chilling, and these niggas approaching me with a gurney. Like,
Yeah, you miss gurney for the rest of the year.
For the rest of the fucking year. So I'm talking to the paramedics, like, are you good? They're like, nah, we have to take you. I'm like, bro, first of all, I'm in college. Like, I'm not paying for this ambulance ride. So I was like, so if it's really that deep, nigga, call me an Uber, because I'm not doing this. So we're going back and forth. I'm like, if I can argue with you for this long, I can go home. And they were kind of like, good point. So they let me go. And I didn't notice that within all of like this like back and forth and all this craziness, we were missing one of my friends. There was a group of like maybe 4 or 5 of us. One of them like was missing for a minute. And then she ran off again once we were released. So she comes back and I was like, what the fuck happened? What were you doing? She was like, yo, well, they was calling the paramedics. I thought the police was coming, so I hid the rest of the dope in the bushes. I was like, yo. So she done came out with shit in her pocket from the bushes, and we're trying to figure out, what are we doing next? Like, I feel better. Let's not ruin this fucking day. Five Guys, that was the answer. So we go to Five Guys. We park, we're just like, yo, that shit's crazy. Then out of nowhere, the homegirl next to me opens the car door and just starts throwing up her life. Everything. Everything in her, just everything. And it wouldn't stop. Just projectile. I was like, who's next? Like, like what did we buy? What did we take? So after that happened, we definitely went inside, got the Five Guys, went home, ate it, and slept the rest of the night. It was a cool day. After, you know, when you survive something that traumatic, it's kind of fun.
I got one question. Mm-hmm. Have you ever done an edible again?
Yes.
Don't learn.
I got 4 questions.
4 questions?
4, that's a lot. All right.
All right.
Okay.
So when the security guard came, did he think you were Rue from Euphoria?
I'm definitely adding this to this video. You definitely got the Rue vibes right now.
This is sick. I literally.
When it came to the situation, Is that how they came up with the show Euphoria?
Get the fuck out of my like.
Keep going.
If you were to describe how you felt, would you say you were a little
Rouge.
Rosy.
This nigga said rouge.
Give us one more.
All right.
End it on a high note.
After this experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel like Zendaya?
Hopefully those jokes were edible and digestible.
Please get out of my face.
Alright.